Today's episode of the Horselick Review is brought to you by Peach Wolf Designs. Peach Wolf Designs is a creator of metaphysical jewelry and accessories, made to order custom items from necklaces to bracelets and even earrings. Whether for a gift or for yourself, Peach Wolf Designs will create your piece with care and dedication. Choose the stones that most speak to you or maybe even your astrological sign. The choice is yours. Get a little more in touch with yourself, the earth, and heck, even the universe with Peach Wolf Designs. Find their storefront on Instagram at peachwolf.designs. That's peachwolf.designs on Instagram. And help us support small businesses. Don't hit it.
Why?
Just get it started. Here we are. Welcome back, guys, to the Horselick Review. This is episode 18.
Yeah, we're legal now.
We're legal
It don't know what it wants.
in more ways than one. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. How y'all been doing? It's been a little while.
Yeah, I've been doing all right, man. How was your trip?
Not bad. Spent a lot of time in the ocean. Too much with kids, playing in waves, and felt like by the time I got home, felt like I'd been beaten with a baseball bat.
Yeah, all right.
So, but it was fun.
Was it the
All good. We had a bunch of fun.
Was it the Jersey Shore?
Oh, yeah.
So did you like pack a rum ham and shit
No, didn't do that.
and like lose it at sea and lament it? Rum ham.
Salty nipples.
I didn't get salty nipples. It was
Nice.
very cold for several days. Like freezing ass cold. Like feet going numb in the water cold.
It sure is relaxing.
Those kids insisted on swimming, so I got in with them most of the time. I'm going to start off with this one. Where'd it go? Here it is. This is from an anonymous fan.
Oh, what? What? Oh, did we get sent this?
Yeah, I was sent this from an anonymous listener. And it's pretty interesting. Lab-grown, self-healing human skin designed to cover robot faces.
No, I've heard about
Yeah.
this.
You heard about this?
Heard about this.
I wonder if I might have even had that
Even after
somewhere.
sizable industry advances, humanoid robots remain firmly within the uncanny valley. And although a Japanese team's new lab-engineered skin may not lessen a bot's creepiness, it may one day become a helpful medical tool for cosmetic surgery and other medical procedures. The pictures.
Yeah, I had this article actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
They're making it smile in this
Fuck
like,
that.
tray.
It's so slimy and weird.
Yeah, it's gross. As detailed in a study published on June 25th, Cell Reports Physical Science, engineers at the University of Tokyo have developed a method to adhere bioengineered skin grown from human cells onto any surface shape. Existing approaches often rely on miniature anchors and hooks to attach similar tissues to surfaces, which limit their utility and make them easily susceptible to damage during movement. In this case, however, researchers created miniature V-shaped perforations in their lab-grown skin to make it extremely flexible, then applied a collagen gel. While the gel's viscosity normally would prevent it from seeping into tiny incisions, the engineers used what's known as water vapor-based plasma treatment that is usually employed during plastic adhesion processes. This made the skin more hydrophilic, allowing the collagen to seep into the perforations and bind the skin to its underlying surface, much like ligaments. So this is pretty. You can see the GIF of it like smiling and making it smile. It's fucking creepy, dude.
Boy,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
this
I
is
can't wait till they teach them vanity, so they want to rip off people's faces.
PopScience.com.
You're prettier than me.
So
This is fucking leather face robots.
give me your face.
I want your
Am I not beautiful?
Oh yes, so that's
You're gonna
pretty
remember
creepy.
that. Let's do that.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest robot of them all? You're lying. I can prove so mathematically.
It's
They go on to talk about it's very sensitive though. Like it says they don't keep sterility. If it's not maintained, bacteria can enter and the tissue will die quite quickly. Apparently,
It's just like a penis.
yeah, but it says living skin can bring a range of new abilities to robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
War.
looking more gross and disgusting, and as you said, trading faces with humans that it might like.
Yeah, this is how you get those
Like more.
the ones that you said, the ones that that Kyle Reese talked about before the T-800. The slimy ones that you can tell aren't humans because it looks like they're wearing masks, and we're just like we're 2 steps away from Arnold now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Sounds like a reality show. Trading faces.
Yeah, it's like, just trading faces right after The Running Man.
Starring Arnold
Oddly enough, both starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
on everything.
So,
You thought I was a different contestant, but I'm not. I don't take someone's face in the show preceding the show. It's just me in a different face every time.
Would you gonna guess who it is?
Who am I wearing? Wouldn't you like to know?
well, there's not much more to that. So if you want to go,
All right, I got
Go
one.
with one.
This one makes me mad.
makes you mad, huh?
It's apparently about climate activists, which I'm fine with climate activists, but sometimes the protests are really stupid. This one's called "Maybe Don't Spray Paint Stonehenge." Climate protests should be pro-humanity.
Did we talk about this?
I don't think so, man. I think me and you may have talked personally. Did we do this on a podcast already?
I don't know. We might have just talked about it. Cover it anyway.
They run toward Stonehenge in white shirts. Just Stop Oil is emblazoned on the front, marking them as emissaries of a British climate activism group. The pair, one of them young, the other older, carry twin orange canisters that emit a cloud of what looks like colored smoke. We later learn it's dyed corn flour. A bystander in a gray coat and baseball hat chases them screaming, then grabs the man and tries to pull him away from the historic monument in a failing bid to protect it. As the cloud clears, the orange stains remain soaked into the ancient sarsen stone. A video of Wednesday, and this has been a while because I've had this story for a bit, so this was like a month ago. A video of Wednesday's active vandalism posted by an Twitter account devoted to Stonehenge has accumulated more than 30 million views. The camps have coalesced as you'd expect. Conservative and moderate voices have reacted with outrage, while left-leaning environmentalists have argued that critics should be more concerned about the state of the planet. Okay, first of all, I don't like the way that's classified, because I consider myself pretty fucking left-leaning.
But the stupid thing about it is why vandalize something that's part of I mean, it's part of the planet and the nature now. It's being protected. Why destroy something?
That's what pisses me off, dude. It's essentially like an old druidic holy site. It's an old pagan holy site. An old nature-worshipping pagan site. That's the... Like, maybe go to an oil company or a gas station or something that actually causes harm to the environment. This seems counterintuitive to what you would like to do and would turn people off to what you're trying to say that would otherwise be on your side.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's just like when they're going into art galleries and slinging paint on stuff to...
Yeah, and it's trying
What does that have to do with...
Yeah, exactly. That has nothing to do with it. Like, go to a car company. Go go to the... go to like somebody that makes the cars that pump the most emissions into the fucking air. You know, like, what does Stonehenge have to do with anything?
Because they could get in more trouble there, I guess.
I doubt it. Like, to a certain extent, it depends on where you would go. I guess maybe certain companies, yeah. But it's Stonehenge. It's a national monument.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be like going to, like, hey, let's go to Uppsala and, like, spray paint shit on the grave mounds or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I don't understand.
0 cents. It's like they're trying to justify it. Like, people should be more concerned about the state of the planet than a bit of plant-based coloring that was easily removed. If I have to pick a side, I'm with the gentleman wielding the washable dye. I'm an environmental studies professor, after all. It's like, okay.
Oh, so they used washable stuff.
I get it, but at the same time, do it to something that deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, have a logical target in mind.
Yeah. I wonder, I'm not sure, I didn't read into it because I just thought it was so dumb, like the attacks on like the paintings.
Oh,
I wonder if they used stuff that actually damaged it or if it was stuff like that too.
But again, why would you attack a holy site that is nature based? That's like being like, I'm for women's rights, and I want to sit there, and I want to bring attention to sexual assault, and that's why I beat the crap out of several lesbians. Does that make fucking sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Wait.
You know what I mean? Like, protect the whales. That's why I went to SeaWorld and fucked Shamu's blowhole.
He could breathe.
You know what I mean? Like, again, maybe go to SeaWorld. That's the right place. Maybe try to figure out how to free Shamu. Don't fuck his blowhole. But anyway, there's not much more to that.
Oh, I have a good one. This one was just fun and weird as fuck. Have y'all heard about this? This is from, got this from foodandwine.com. Get a little fancy on this one.
Sounds fancy.
It says, this new limited edition sauce from Heinz has 14 sauces in one.
Ooh, all right.
Okay. It says, you've done it. You've finally created the perfect burger. Now you have just one last thing to decide. What sauce to put on it?
14 of them.
Sure, you could use ketchup, mustard, or mayonnaise, or maybe get a little crazy and try something like Heinz smoky mayonnaise, or a little fancy with Heinz truffle mayo. It's a difficult decision, of course, but what if we told you that you don't have to choose, that you can put them all on that burger, along with quite a few others, with Heinz's new every sauce? Freaking ads, man.
I'm every sauce, it's all...
The Heinz's new every sauce, a limited edition offering from the company that, as the name suggests, includes every sauce in the same bottle.
Are you talking mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup?
Yes,
sriracha,
friends, our saucy time is now.
relish,
So they
duck sauce,
literally took
ranch,
every sauce they make
Thousand Island
and
ranch.
mixed it into one sauce.
Okay, I don't think that.
I wonder.
That sounds terrible.
I haven't got the 14.
It
Hold on.
really does.
First of all, I don't like mayonnaise. I think it's gross. I think that's a good way to ruin a sandwich.
I like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
I like mayo. Like, I used to like Miracle Whip too, but I don't really eat that anymore. I just prefer mayo.
Grew up with Miracle Whip, but I don't like it anymore. Give me that mayo.
I like stuff. I like when you cook with mayonnaise, like you mix it into something or cook something into it. But I don't like it just.
mayonnaise.
I don't like it just spread onto something, man. Like I fucking hate. Ooh,
Like a cold sandwich with
Yeah,
mayonnaise?
no,
you don't even like it
gross.
like on a turkey sandwich?
no,
Turkey and cheese?
That's the mayo.
Ham and cheese?
no. Give me cheese and I'll put like some crushed red pepper or some shit on there. Like I'll put a spice or like
Just dry
or
heat.
buffalo sauce or something. Like I'll put like a hot sauce on it, but I don't like mayonnaise, dude.
Yeah, I like
hate
it. I like it. I like mayo on like a cold cut sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
But sometimes mustard and mayo, depending on what I'm eating.
But really, if you like any kind of restaurant sauce, chicken sauce, it's mayonnaise based, but it's flavored. So that makes sense. But 14.
Let's see. The list is here.
Okay.
Burger sauce, garlic sauce, aioli sauce, smoky baconaise, sweet chili, chip sauce, saucy sauce, mayo racha, mayo must, truffle mayo, garlic and caramelized onion mayo, curry ketchup, pickle ketchup, smoky bacon ketchup. Those are what are included in the 14 Heinz sauces.
That could be anything.
Saucy sauce.
Huh?
Just sounds
What
like
is saucy sauce? That could be anything.
Saucy sauce.
with the exception of that, it just sounds like a bunch of mayo and ketchup. But
Yeah.
What is saucy sauce?
But different flavored. So it's really the spices that and stuff that's
Oh yeah, it's really the spices.
so it's really
that's
kind
what
of
lends it the flavor.
it's really just mayo. Yeah, it really is mayo and ketchup
And saucy
with
sauce.
Other
a bunch
than that
of
tangy goop.
different.
Hoop tang.
Well, there's a lot of heat. No, not really. There's some
my
curry.
off-brand mayo.
I don't know how spicy that would be. Sweet chili.
Yeah. Mixed with curry and truffle.
I don't know what burger sauce. What is burger sauce?
It's like,
That's probably off-brand Big Mac sauce.
yeah.
Yeah, probably. Truffle mayo sounds pretty
It's
good.
like relish, mayonnaise, everything.
Unless you're not a
mayonnaise-based.
mayo fan.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't like straight up mayonnaise, but I like aioli. I like stuff like when they make it not mayonnaise and it's like a little bit like 'cause you mixed something into it. Sometimes that's all right, but straight up like just
Regular mayonnaise.
can't stand it.
Yeah.
Any of the sauce they put on at Taco Bell, mayonnaise based.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm not talking about the hot sauce packets. Talking about their.
Man, authentically Mexican.
Yeah, well, they're like,
Mexico known for its mayonnaise.
oh, what you got next? So go out and try you some everything sauce, or whatever the hell it was called. What was it called again?
It's the Dr. Pepper sauce.
The Dr. Pepper of sauce.
Was it called everything sauce? Is that what it was called? I don't even remember now. And I just
Cares?
read it.
Don't try it. I bet it's terrible.
I kind of want to taste it just to see.
You can probably just throw everything you got in the fridge and get an
Hey, man,
approximate.
I'm not doing it that way.
I've got something about a Tokyo election.
Actually, I didn't hear anything about mustard. I have a lot of mustard.
I don't think there was mustard in it.
It's a Tokyo election tests patience of residents. We have to be wacky with suggestive poses and pets. Election campaigning tests Tokyo's patience. Tokyo elects a new governor this weekend, and again, this was like a month ago, but residents say personal publicity stunts have overtaken serious campaigning to a degree never seen before, with nearly nude women in suggestive poses, pets, an AI character, and a man practicing his golf swing. Watch us drive.
Nice.
It's impossible to ignore. With internet campaigning still relatively new, candidates traditionally use designated election billboards, more than 14,000 of them, to promote themselves. The makeshift billboards are set up only during the short campaign season. Man, short campaign season must be nice. And are valuable space for exposure in a city already crammed with advertising. Man, I wonder how fancy those billboards have to be in Tokyo, though, with all of the light pollution and, like, overstimulation that Tokyo probably has to give you. Like, how do you stand out? Is it a normal-ass billboard, or is there, like, you know,
Are any of the billboards in Tokyo normal?
Yeah, like, or is it, like, weird flashing, like, tentacle
I'm
shit?
sure it's like a big screen. The billboard, quote, billboard, but it's like
and
a
it
big
cycles
screen.
through all the candidates.
Probably.
This one.
But this year's wackiness, notably from non-candidates, renting the billboard space is proving exceptional, and residents have flooded election offices with angry calls and messages. I hate frivolity. They are distasteful, and as a Japanese citizen, I feel embarrassed as I see many foreign visitors pass by those billboards, and they must wonder what's going on. Man, you know, they know about American elections, right?
Most of them probably don't.
like
really
ours,
know.
Ours are terrible.
It's all just like talking shit about each other.
Said Mayumi Noda, an office worker. As a voter, I think it's outrageous and disrespectful to the other candidates who are seriously competing.
Yeah, like the last time, I can only remember like a handful of times in the past probably 15 to 20 years I've seen an American like election ad that was actually had any type of like substance to it and wasn't just like shit talking the other candidate or just completely just empty bullshit.
Wasn't just like a terrible like movie trailer talking shit. Wasn't like a lame diss track. My opponent hates puppies.
Yeah.
And is pro-war, but not pro the good wars. You know, pro the liberal pansy wars.
And he smells like bad.
My opponent wants to import less oil than me. He wants to drown a puppy.
Pretty much.
He thought about it, at least.
Once.
Tony.
My opponent is a pussy. He's not for all the wars. I'm for all the wars. Good old American wars. Anyway, a record 56 candidates, including incumbent Governor Yuriko Koike, who seeks her third four-year term, are running in Sunday's election. Many of the candidates are fringe figures or influencers seeking even more exposure. Tokyo, a city of 13.5 million, has outsized political and cultural power in Japan. Its budget equals that of some nations, and its policies impact the national government. Hours after official campaigning began on June 20th, residents faced a stunning array of posters. For some, it's not even clear whether the person behind it is a candidate or simply seeks exposure. I mean, I'll give them this, dude. It is nice that they're... Normally, I'd kind of be annoyed at, like, people's outrage, but it'd be nice if we got mad at our elected officials and, like, you know, could you guys, like, be serious and say something worth saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's nice. But one billboard featured racy posters for an adult entertainment shop.
Ooh.
Another had an almost naked female model in a suggestive pose with a message that said, "Stop restricting free speech." I mean, honestly, that's effective. That feels effective.
I think it bothers a lot.
I'd vote for that.
That stuff here would probably go over, like, you probably have less people pissed off about that stuff.
Probably.
Because I think there's still a lot of people, I might be totally wrong, but from the things I've watched and about the culture over there, there's still a lot of people that still sit in those really traditional, old Japanese traditional ways, you know what I mean? So it's like, they see that stuff. It's weird because you see how, like, far ahead some of their stuff seems compared to us, and then you learn more about how some people are still really traditional about all kinds of stuff.
Well, again,
tourists, to how,
calling for
roles,
some, like, dude, I'm
roles.
all for, like, some dumb bullshit and absurdist stuff, but calling for some, like, seriousness in your elections actually makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna, I don't even look at that as being, like, uptight. Because it's not, like, that's serious stuff. Like, if we were more serious.
Save that for the weird, the weird game shows. The hundreds of weird game shows we have.
Yeah, but you raise a good point. I guess they've got it compartmentalized pretty well. You know what I mean? It's like, all the bullshit is in our game shows. Why are you bringing that here?
Don't bring it into politics.
If I want this, I'll watch Fart Box Mountain.
Yeah. Or sniff this ass. Whose is it? Is it your mom's or your dad's?
I have
Identify the otter penis.
I have seen some videos like that, but it wasn't sniffing farts.
Others showed photos of a pet dog or a female kickboxer. One candidate, called AI Mayor, used an image of a metallic humanoid. It's fucking starting. Campaign video clips have also drawn criticism. One shows female candidate Ari Uchino saying, "I'm so cute, please watch my campaign broadcast," and repeating her name in a high-pitched anime-style voice while asking voters to be friends on social media. She then strips down to a beige-colored tube top.
What?
Oh, God, man. Like, I'm sorry,
Okay,
Japan.
this got even more weird.
I'm sorry, Japan. Like, what? You don't need to be America. Like, just be you.
But it still is really Japanese, but, like...
That's true, but...
They're just putting it into the politics now.
It is, but the absurdity's American.
I think that's really Japanese. I really think so.
In another video, a male candidate who represents what he calls golf party, end quote, talks about his policies while occasionally practicing his golf swing. Under a 1950 public office election law, candidates in Japan are free to say anything as long as they do not support another candidate or carry obviously false or libelous content. Wait a minute. Like, you can campaign for you. Why would there need to be a law that you can't support another candidate? Like, you could be like, I'm Joe Japanese and I'm running for mayor, but you know what? I suck. You should vote for Jeff Japanese. That's against the law, apparently.
Joe Japanese. Look, man, I'm Joe Japanese. Come on, man. Look, man. Come on, man.
This year's escalation is partly linked to an emerging conservative political party that has fielded 24 candidates for governor. Since each of the election billboards across Tokyo has 48 squares for candidates to paste their posters, the party... Wow, that does sound old school, dude. I feel like that's got to be lost among the lights. Like, a billboard that you paste your posters to, and there's 48 squares. That feels like some 1850s, like, Huck Finn shit. You know what I mean? Like, boy, it sure is fun pasting these posters. But anyway, the party is renting out half the slots to anyone who pays, including non-candidates. Oh, that's part of what it is, man. Anybody can get in on the action. That kind of unexpected approach isn't regulated. The rental cost starts at 25,000 yen, which is about $155 American dollars, per location per day, said party leader Takashi Tachibana.
They're going to say 6'9".
Quote, "We have to be wacky or we don't get media attention," Tachibana said in a YouTube comment posted on the party website. The point is to make immoral and outrageous actions to get attention. Again, this feels like just American politics. Immoral and outrageous actions. That's how our politicians get attention.
Yeah, but didn't you say there was a law that they can't, like, make false statements?
False or libelous, so I guess you could be like, I enjoy tentacle porn, if you actually enjoy tentacle porn, but you couldn't be like, my opponent enjoys tentacle porn and is featured in several tentacle porn videos, unless they actually are and do.
So that's one thing different from here.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
can say where the hell you want to here.
You can totally lie.
I mean, otherwise, it wouldn't be somebody.
I know we've got libel and slander laws, but they don't ever seem to hold up.
Not usually.
My opponent eats babies. Well, fuck it, man. He didn't get sued. I guess his opponent eats babies.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, I heard it on the internet, too. Nihon University professor and expert in politics and media, the reason why some people find these performances amusing is because they think their objections are not taken into consideration by politicians and existing parties or reflected in their politics. Man, like, I'm really on the fence about a lot of this because, like, there's good points kind of on both sides. At a park near Tokyo's busy Shimbashi train station, passerby glanced at a campaign billboard with half of its slots filled with dog posters. I don't decide who to vote for by looking at the faces on their posters, said Kunihiko Imada, a plumber, but I still think these billboards are being misused. And the article abruptly ends.
I like that. That's how it's supposed to be. Abruptly ending.
I don't know, that was a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
I think it's pretty funny, but it's right up... It's very Japanese.
It is.
Like, once you started talking about the stuff they were doing...
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's like the weird-ass shit you see in their shows and, like,
the absurdity feels like our politics, but, yeah, just done in a very Japanese way.
Yeah. I got one here from OddityCentral.com, which I will say again was an anonymous listener turned me on to this site.
Anonymous listener turned you on?
Turned me on to this site. But this one is... Woman uses a hand grenade as a hammer for 20 years.
Oh, shit,
Lives to tell the tale. A 90-year-old Chinese woman unknowingly used an old hand grenade to crack nuts and hammer nails for 2 decades after finding the unexploded ordnance in a field one day. So obviously it's one of those like old school.
Yeah.
It's been good for my nuts.
There's a picture of it. Yeah. It's got like all kinds of dents and shit in it where she used it to like hammer. But, yeah, the woman, surnamed Qian, told Chinese reporters that she was working on her farm in Xianyang, Hubei province, when she found this strange metal lump with a wooden handle. Convinced it was a makeshift hammer, she took it home and used it to pound all kinds of tough objects, from nuts to metal nails. It was only last week when a team of men working on demolishing her old house noticed the hand grenade that the retired woman learned she had been gambling with her life every time she used it. And she used it a lot, as police reported, that the grenade's wooden handle had become smooth and glossy from years of use, while the metallic head was full of dents. I've been using it at home to pound red pepper, crack nuts, and hammer in nails, she said, saying casually in a video that has been doing the rounds in China since June 23rd.
I think she would wash the thing occasionally. Like,
Probably.
As soon as I saw it, I knew it was a hammer.
Spicy grenade.
After the workers demolishing the woman's house alerted authorities about the hand grenade, the police station quickly dispatched a special unit that confirmed that the suspicious object was indeed a hand grenade, more specifically a Chinese Type 67 that had somehow withstood the abuse the woman had subjected it to for the last 20 years. Speculating on why the old hand grenade hadn't exploded, some claim that it must have been a training grenade, identical to a real one, but not filled with explosives. However, that theory has been debunked by a police statement that the grenade had been properly destroyed to avoid accidental injury. It seems that Qian was just exceptionally lucky. Apparently, even hand grenades have principles and won't explode on kind-hearted elderly people, one person commented.
No.
So, this lady... This is hilarious. Like, it's not, because she could have blown up. But if it would have been me...
Yeah. I would have hit my thumb first, like, oh, I am blowing up.
Yeah. I would have, like, just picked it up. Like, what's this? And not realizing what it was, out of the ground, and it would explode into my hand.
Dude, honestly, if this lady was like some sort of holy woman or whatever, I'd probably convert to her religion, because I would have to feel like if there is a God, he or she must smile upon this woman.
Must smile upon you.
So you would just pick it up out of the ground and explode? Michael Bay's King Arthur.
What?
I got it.
He got it.
Well, whoever his King Arthur would be would have to be tan and sweaty.
What?
And picking it up near dusk.
Explosion.
All right.
Oh, shit.
You done, or you got more to that?
Oh, shit. I'm done with that. That's all there is to
All
it,
right.
really.
From Sky News, forest bathers extol benefits of ecotherapy amid mental health crisis and long waiting lists. It's about bathing in the forest, but I don't think you bathe in water. I think you just bathe in nature vibes.
Bathing vibes.
I think so. Which I hope they're actually still bathing, because, you know, like, maybe it'll clean your mind, but it ain't, and your soul and all that, but it ain't gonna clean your ass.
It ain't gonna clean that up.
It ain't gonna wash your ass.
You gotta wash it.
You telling me how to live with your unwashed ass? With 5 million patients in England turning to the NHS for mental health care, some have looked toward ecotherapies as an alternative treatment. Those who run forest bathing practices say they've been told by people it literally saved their life. Oh, wait, this is in England. Literally saved their life. The mental health crisis and long waiting lists for therapy has sparked a rise of people seeking alternative treatments, with some crediting ecotherapy with saving their lives. One form of ecotherapy that's becoming increasingly popular is known as forest bathing. Like, I'm going into this raw, so I don't know exactly what forest bathing is, but we'll find out together. Yeah. It's a simple method of being calm and quiet among the trees, observing nature around you while breathing deeply. So, say those who support the idea. So, dude, honestly, it just sounds like when dickheads tell you to go touch grass, except for, you know, sensitive.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's been a thing forever. Like,
well, yeah, being out
grounding, you know, that kind of shit.
being out in the sun, like, statistically does, like, help. Like,
oh, for sure.
Helps you with your mental health.
Why do you think, like, night shifters all die so early?
I don't know. I only did night shift for, like, 20 years, Nathan. Tell me about it.
Me too.
I'm just now working in the day these past 2 years.
Wait.
You tell me I'm going to die early?
You
What do you know?
You didn't do third shift, did you?
I did, like, second and third shift, dude.
Oh, well, second shift's not as bad because you still get up during the day.
You'll only die
most
half
third
as
shifters are sleeping all day, you know?
You only die half as quickly.
You only die half as fast.
Yeah.
With the NHS saying 5 million patients access mental health care between 2022 and 2023 in England, an increase of more than 1 million in 5 years, people are increasingly seeking refuge in nature to escape the stresses of modern life. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I wish I could do that more.
Dude, yeah, going camping, like, honestly makes me feel better. If I just, like, stay outside for a day, I come back, I feel good.
Yeah,
but
we usually like fall camping, and last year we didn't get to do any. I plan on making sure we get to do it this year because, yeah, something about it. Just like, even if you're a getaway for like a day or two, it's like something about it just.
And it doesn't matter. Like, dude, I did it a lot when I was doing second and third shift stuff, and I was used to going to bed at like 4 a.m. or 5 at the latest, 2 or 3 at the earliest. But what kills me is it doesn't matter what your sleep schedule is. You go camping, the sun goes down at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and you naturally just want to go to sleep. And you go to sleep early, and then you wake up with the sunrise. It literally resets your circadian rhythms, and it's crazy to me because it's like, oh, I've only been up since noon. You know what I mean? Like, but I want to go to bed at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Susan Mize, the founder of Meet in Nature and host of forest bathing sessions at Kew Gardens, told Sky News, the first step is to come and see, hear, smell, touch, and experience forest bathing for yourself. Again, forest bathing, not a substitute for actual bathing. She didn't say that. I'm just letting people know.
Not a substitute.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Now, if you have a pond or a river and you have some soap or something and the water is clean,
Just
then
like-
yes, bathe in the forest.
I've been and I can, just like they say, fighting games. Not a substitution for bathing. I've hear about the big tournaments, and I've been to small tournaments, so I've experienced it myself in smaller venues. A lot of those guys, you get around in those groups.
Dude, I know.
Big BO. It's like, guys, these games don't wash you. You have to take a break.
Nah, dude, I've been into
Give them at least a leaf from the forest. Huh?
been into tabletop gaming, do all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
card games,
tabletops, too, yeah.
Card games, Dungeons and Dragons. I've played in a Magic tournament, dude. The smells are atrocious. It's like, I don't understand. Like, dude, I'm a nerd, but there's like this weird divide where you can be nerdy as you want to be, but there's that weird divide where if you step over the line for some reason, you don't like to shower anymore, and I don't get it.
It smells like wizard books.
You have to smell to
If you
understand
bathe,
magic.
you cover up the pheromones. It's like, dude, you're not getting any anyway. Like, cover up your pheromones.
Pheromone maxing.
I min-max my character and I min-max my pheromones. She added, I have seen thousands of people during the post-COVID benefiting from forest bathing. Some have told me that the forest bathing literally saved their lives. God, they keep hitting that. Others shared that it has transformed their relationship with nature. The practice inspired by the winner of this year's Chelsea Flower Show, where London... What? Chelsea Flower Show, where London designer Ula Maria won a gold medal for her forest bathing garden. Okay, so she just created
Well,
a
it
space
sounds
for-
like it's a lot of people who normally never, ever in their life have gotten out into nature at all. And so it's probably like, this is a good thing.
I
for
mean,
sure,
I do
because-
live
So
in
it's
England.
grass, the program.
I do live in England, and it does rain all the time, so I rarely see the sun. So when I can see the sun, I like to see the sun. I sit in the woods and I look at the sun. Sometimes I look at the sun for 5 minutes straight, and my head begins to hurt and my eyes burn,
Contrary.
and my vision begins to blur. But physically, I feel better.
Contrary to Jake's wonderful
All right.
accent here, we do love any listeners from the UK.
Yeah, I don't hate the British. I really don't. I love like a lot of the stuff. I love it. I love a lot of the things. So many great
You
things.
can make fun of our, I'm sure,
Yeah,
you hear our
I sound like a
voices.
hillbilly, dude. I know I do. It's fine. I'm still gonna make fun of your voice. I'm still
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
make fun of the voices. Like
I
I
make
love
fun of my own.
I love so many things that come out of England. Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest,
Mostly bands.
Jelly deals.
Led Zeppelin.
J.R.R.
Led
Tolkien.
Zeppelin?
No, I didn't, but great one too. J.R.R. Tolkien, Stonehenge, Arthurian myth. You know, I can go on and on.
I can go on. I don't know what I was doing there.
Except for the monarchy. I do actually hate the British monarchy.
I think a lot of the British hate that too.
Yeah, that's fine. And I don't care if the British get mad that do like the British monarchy. Fuck the British monarchy.
Yeah. It's kind of pointless.
But anyway, she described the garden as a place of solace and reflection for those affected by muscular dystrophy. Have we even getting complaints from people from England? 'Cause I do rip on the English a
thought it was
lot.
I appreciate that, Governor.
That was terrible.
I know. I get it.
Michael, you just need to give up, dude. Or go home and practice for about a week.
I practice in real time.
I don't like these Yanks making fun of my accent. I don't.
That's more of like the Beatles.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
I'm trying to change it up. It can't always be the dumb British guy. I don't know how to do a Welsh accent, but I mean, I guess that's technically not England, but it is England. But it's also not.
Yeah, they most of the a lot of them speak both.
Yeah. Wales is
Welsh-
weird.
Welsh is
Wales is
cool
cool,
language.
dude. Yeah, Wales is cool, but I don't quite understand it.
Yeah, it's a cool language. I like actually watching that. Oh, what is it called? About Wrexham, the football team, because of with the Ryan Reynolds and what's his face from Always Sunny.
Oh yeah.
They bought that team, and we watched some of that. We didn't ever finish it, but like listening to the people. It's when I actually got to sit and like listen to a lot of people actually speaking in Welsh. And
Yeah,
it's like,
I
man,
think-
that's cool
yeah, I
ass
think-
language.
From when I looked into like some English history, I think Wales essentially is like the part of England that remained Celtic despite the like invasions of the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes. Like they pushed a lot of the Celts west, and that's sort of what kind of became Wales. It was kind of like the Celtic stronghold of England proper. And then you also had Scotland that was still Celtic and Ireland that was still Celtic, but essentially like when the first wave of Germanic invaders previous to the Vikings came over, yeah, that was that's like the difference too culturally. There's a lot more Celtic tradition there, whereas the Angles and all them had like the different names for the Norse gods like Votan and Thunar. But anyway, that's enough of that nerd shit. And that's enough for forest bathing.
I like forest bathing. I do it myself.
I do too, but I also...
Once you read the article, I understood what forest bathing actually was. And
yeah, it essentially just sounds like camping, though, which I do.
Yeah.
But again,
It sounds like it's a good thing, though, because like I said, like I was saying, it sounds like it's a lot of people who, like, never get into nature and never have experienced actually doing something in nature.
Dude, I guess, too, like, I kind of... To a certain extent, I kind of take that for granted, man, because, like, I live in Kentucky, again, hence why I sound like a hillbilly. But, I mean, the town I've been in, you're never very far from, like, you could literally go disappear into a forest, like, 20 minutes from anywhere.
Yeah.
Where I live. And I'm used to trees being around, like, and lately it kind of sucks because they've taken out a lot of the trees and a lot of little pockets of nature that were in the city proper, but I'm still never 20 minutes away from, like, like...
It's one of those things you don't realize. There's some people have never even been.
No, I know. Like, well, hell, you just went to New Jersey, man. I mean, I know there's a lot of... There's a lot on a certain side, but there's a lot of nature in New Jersey, but then there's, like, Trenton and stuff like that, which I imagine is more concrete.
Well, anywhere like those, any big ass city like LA or New York, there's probably plenty of people who have never
I know, man.
stepped into.
I've been to Chicago and that was cool, but damn, like, I can't remember. I don't think I saw one tree. Unless it was growing out of the concrete and planted there for ambience.
Oh, shit. But here, I'm going to go into a little bit of a nerd, because I have some video game news. This came from, what is this site? TimeExtension.com. I thought this was just
is this a
kind of cool. It's like Super Sega FPGA console will play Genesis, Master System, Saturn, and Dreamcast games. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A team of Spanish Sega fans are looking to build the ultimate Sega console capable of running Mega Drive, Genesis, Mega Drive / Genesis, Master System, SC3000, SG1000, which are those computer systems, Saturn, and Dreamcast games. The Super Sega will use a Vertex UltraScale Plus FPGA chip to replicate the performance of these systems as accurately as possible. It will also feature Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity, as well as an SD card slot. The optical drive will be a CD, DVD reader, and writer contained within a transparent bay within the console's unusual bodywork. 8 joystick ports will be included, allowing Sega fans to use their original controllers, and there will also be USB ports. The team behind Super Sega is headed up by computer engineer Alejandro Martin, or Martin, or however you want to say it. I don't know how they say it.
It's probably Martin.
In Spanish. I think it's Martin. Who has previously worked at Cinemartin and Trace Telecom. Tony Hernandez, Carlos Lopez, and Christina... I'm not going to try to... however you say that. Are also involved with the project.
Bergways.
Bergways, who is handling PR, had this to say. We've had to tidy this up a bit as the original press release is written in slightly broken English. And she says, until Super Sega has a working prototype, they will not release any funding campaign. Currently, almost all Sega's console games up to Saturn are in a working, playable state, and a few Dreamcast games are playable. So far, so good, but until we finish the prototype, we will not consider releasing the project. We have a few pictures. It's going to be weird. It's like looks like a big wedge. Look at it. It's like long.
Looks like a doorstop.
It's like I said, this is at TimeExtension.com. You can look this Super Sega up.
Is it go Super Saiyan?
It looks, it'd be really cool if they end up releasing it. A lot of this stuff...
So this is like like they're not affiliated with Sega at all?
No. But I mean, there's been plenty of companies that make like
I get
systems,
it.
but
So was
to play old games.
Was Sega big in Spain? I mean, I don't know much about international Sega sales.
I don't know. I know
it
it's
is
huge
in Brazil.
It's huge in Brazil.
Yeah.
Really?
Master System. People are still making like homebrew games from Master System down there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Master System was huge down there. But yeah, I mean, this looks really cool, and I don't want to get too like excited about it because a lot of these projects fizzle out and die. But they did say we have been working on a Sega Saturn core since a few years ago. Until now, there has been almost no suitable FPGA hardware out there. But with the UltraScale Plus, things have changed and prices seem more reasonable than before. With a minimum of 100K up to 1 million of logic cells, it is now possible to do a Dreamcast behavior with enough speed.
Oh man, that means you can play that creepy Evolution game.
You're talking about, Seaman?
Is that what it was?
One with
the
Leonard
one where you
Nimoy?
start,
Leonard Nimoy.
I was about to say something about that earlier with that robot face. I was like, freaking Seaman with Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, Seaman was weird. I had that game.
Seaman.
Seaman. I am Seaman. Remember how they talked? He was like,
Yeah.
I do not like you. I don't remember. Something similar to that.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah, so I'd like to see this get off the ground, because it'd be cool. I don't know how much it would cost. I would say it's going to be
2000.
probably pretty expensive.
It's got to be like...
It would probably be at least a couple $100.
Yeah, but I can't see it being like over 300.
Over 300?
I said I
don't know.
can't. I could see it being like
It
somewhere
might.
between $200 to $300.
Depends
Maybe
on-
a little more. Maybe a
Play
little
so
more than
many games,
$300
it'd
after
probably be
taxes.
$300 probably. I'd say at least.
Well, it does have a lot of hardware in it too.
What do you got? What you got next?
Another
What you-
one
what
from
you- what you
Sky
got?
News. Why people are threatening to poo in Paris River Seine.
What the hell?
Just Olympics reason.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Spoiler alert.
Oh, is this? Oh, it's like protest.
Nailed.
The Olympics?
Yeah, this is awesome. This is from June, though, guys, because again, it's been a while. Sunday was supposed to be the date of Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo would swim in the Seine to prove the water was clean enough for Olympic athletes. Parisians have threatened to poo in the River Seine in a protest ahead of the Olympics. People are angry at the expense of cleaning up the river and have rallied under the hashtag. I don't speak French, but here it goes. J'étais dans la Seine, la
You
Juin.
probably butchered that.
Probably did. I don't care. Which translates
Need
as I shit in the Seine on 23 June.
Nice. We need to take another page out of that book too, of French people's book too.
Oh yeah,
for
they protest. Yeah, they protest like motherfuckers and get their rights.
real democracy.
Yeah. No, I mean I know like the stereotype is they're a bunch of pussies, but they're not.
No.
They actually hold their government accountable
Yeah,
and
you
get
look
what
back
they
at
want.
the actual wars they helped
Yeah.
win, and back in the day, and people look at them all wrong, man.
Yeah, it's only because it's all based on World War II. It's like
Because they got beat.
Yeah, it's like have you seen everything before and after?
Yeah.
Like everybody's got a bad day.
Yeah. Can't win them all.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't won one in, I don't know, 70 years
Not really.
or more.
Yeah, the bunch of rice farmers really started that losing streak.
Yeah. We didn't really win Korea. Well,
No.
I guess we kind of won.
No,
really,
we didn't.
Not really.
I
no.
mean, that's kind of at
That
at
was the
best,
start.
it's a draw.
We got our asses kicked in Vietnam, for sure. Oh.
Sunday
Continue.
Sunday was supposed to be the date. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo. Oh yeah, well, repeat that again. I don't know why Sky News does that all the time.
I like to repeat everything.
President Emmanuel Macron. You gotta say it. You gotta say it pretentiously. Like again, I like the French, but the language does sound pretentious.
Yeah, I like it, though. When you listen to people speak it, and they know what they're doing.
I think it's because I think it's only because yeah. I think it's only because like anything in the United States, when anytime French is used in the United States, it's always for pretentious shit.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway,
Welcome to Burger King.
digression. Like
Oh crap! Oh,
Nobody does that at Burger King.
Like what kills me, like the Matrix, the second one, Matrix Reloaded or whatever. Was that the second one?
I don't remember.
But remember the French bad guy? He's just an AI program. He's like, I love speaking in French because it's like wiping your ass with silk. It's like, I just wanted.
I don't remember that.
I do because I wanted to kill that guy.
And he did.
A website has been set up with the slogan, They have plunged us into shit. It's their turn to plunge into our shit. Fuck, the French are cool, man.
They are.
The anonymous program behind the website told news outlet Actu Paris why people are angry. The problem is that all the resources that have been invested have not been to resolve all the social problems we have at the moment, he said. We have the feeling of being abandoned. We see where their priority was. More than 1.4 billion, whatever that currency is supposed to be, euros, I'm assuming. What is the French currency outside of euros? Francs?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's francs. Has been spent on trying to make the water safe enough to... Dude, it just gives me a weird symbol I've never seen before. As far as I know, it's 1.4 billion Monopoly money. I don't know. Has been spent trying to make the water safe enough to swim in.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. Oh, wait. I think it's 1.4 billion francs and 1.2 billion euros, if I'm not mixing up the symbols. With triathlon and open water swimming events scheduled to take place in the river. A report published on Friday showed the water was still too dirty to swim in. Mission accomplished, I guess. Just over 5 weeks out from the first triathlon event. Water samples showed high rates of 2 kinds of fecal bacteria, including E. coli, and did not meet the standards set for the games. Paris region prefect Mark
They're like, stop wasting our
Guillaume
fucking money.
said, yeah, dude, I'm pretty good at pronouncing most things. Not French.
No, me either. I always had to get biz because, biz took many years of French, and I always have to get biz to, I'll be like, what is this?
Frank.
And I still can't say it.
Yeah,
Even when it's pronounced for me.
people are frustrated so much money has been invested in the cleanup operation when other social issues have been neglected. Aspects of the Olympics have proved controversial. Parisians face hiked transport costs during the games. Homeless encampments have been cleared, prompting accusations of France trying to hide poverty. We're not so different, France.
It can't be worse than any worse than what China did when they did. Remember when they had the Olympics there?
I'm sure they did a bunch of horrible things.
Supposedly, I think it's all propaganda. China is doing more to help the environment and kick down pollution, but I don't know how true that is.
Maybe in their rural areas, but Beijing is really heavily polluted.
You ever see those things those videos of you supposedly had the army out planting trees and stuff, soldiers?
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know if they're really Beijing, doing it, just by the nature of that many people and that population density.
Yeah.
And the industrialization of China because that dude, back in the 90s, they were riding bikes and stuff. We used to hear in science class how they didn't have a lot of pollution because there weren't a bunch of cars and things like that. But the past 20 or 30 years, they've industrialized a lot more, and just by the nature of that population density, you're going to be a huge polluter.
Yeah. But
again, you also still have a bunch of you have a bunch of rural areas that look really good. And, dude, we watch a lot of Chinese movies. I'm pretty sure Mongol was a Chinese movie. And do you remember how pretty some of the landscapes
I thought it was a Russian movie.
Was it? The Mongol?
Yeah.
The one about Genghis Khan?
I thought I think the director was a Russian
Either
guy.
way, it was filmed in China, I believe, and Mongolia. Do you remember, some of those landscapes? Because, we're used to seeing pictures of Beijing and, the chewable air. Yeah. And then you see, damn, it looks like paradise, some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, they do keep a lot of their landscape clean.
This is completely off topic. We're talking about China. I just found Once Upon a Time in China. Damn it. Not Once Upon a Time in China. That's Jet Li. Never mind. Journey to the West. Remember that movie?
I never got to see that.
Stephen Chow made it, directed it.
I didn't get to see that. I want to read Journey to the West.
I found it on Blu-ray, DVD. But anyway, I was psyched. Okay, back to France.
Nah, we're almost done. Students have been moved to make way for Olympic workers. So will people actually stage their dirty protest? The website programmer said while it started as a joke, people could follow through, telling Act 2 Paris nothing is excluded. Ooh. So that means piss and shit. Maybe cum.
Ooh, nice.
And they can flick their cigarette butts in there, too.
I think Michael fell asleep.
Probably. Because he's thinking of Parisian shit, piss, and cum.
Thinking, how many turds I gotta see before I...
He's thinking Arby's.
Well, hold on. That
Thinking
might be a
meats.
motivator, dude. Like, do you think, like, if you see a turd floating in the Seine...
Oh, I thought you were going to say Arby's for Michael to wake up.
But if you're seeing a turd
Give me
float
the
down the
meats.
Seine, that might make you swim faster. And if you're a German, like, Scheiser enthusiast, like, that might just make the Germans swim faster anyway.
Maybe.
Oh, Scheiser, yeah, I'm used to this. I love this. Oh,
This is my dream.
the poo-poo.
I just have more nerd stuff. This is from IGN.
.com. Double Dragon is getting a 3D beat 'em up from Arc System Works. Yes, that's right. Billy and Jimmy Lee will soon take to the mean 3D streets in 2025.
Hell yeah.
Arc System Works, the developers behind Dragon Ball FighterZ, or Fighters, and Guilty Gear Strive, is working on a 3D revival of the classic 2D beat 'em up game Double Dragon, according to Famitsu. The new Double Dragon game will see Arc System Works reimagine the 1980s Nintendo Entertainment System era game with 3D modeled characters. And you can, on this article, see some of the links to Twitter and see the concept art. Bobo looks really cool.
Can you play as a Bobo?
It looks like it's Billy, Jimmy, some character I don't recognize, and I don't know. Maybe that's not. I don't know if that's a Bobo or not. But it looks like there's 4 characters. It might be the big guy from 3. Is that? You remember? Did you ever play 3? The arcade game. You could play as that one big ass dude. I don't know who he was.
Yeah.
Not 3 on Nintendo. I'm talking about 3, the arcade game.
It might be a Bobo. Huh?
But anyway, Double Dragon was a mainstay on arcades and consoles through the late 80s and 90s, appearing on a multitude of platforms and at one point teaming up with the Battletoads. It's true. I knew that.
I knew that too.
Yeah, I had the Battletoads Double Dragon on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's a great game. Fun as hell. It's revered as one of the most influential beat-em-ups of all time, with classics like Final Fight and Streets of Rage following in its footsteps. Arc System Works acquired the rights to Double Dragon and other classic beat-em-up series, Kunio-kun,
Hey, hold
which
on,
is like
who's-
River City Ransom, and all those are like linked.
Who's your
Renegade.
favorite Battletoad?
Rash.
So I always like
It used to be Pimples.
Pimples is my favorite.
I was gonna say Zitz then. Is that his name?
Yeah.
You know Rash is in Killer Instinct,
Oh, is he?
the newest. Yeah, he was a extra character
The
later.
newest came out 20 years ago.
The newest one that came out in, like, what was it, 2016?
It's something. Well,
But they've been still updating that game.
cool.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so we're getting a new Double Dragon. Double Dragon 4, I don't know if people played that. That was great. It was all like, looked like Double Dragon 2 graphically.
Oh, sorry.
But,
That wasn't me.
it's Jake today. But anyway, yeah, so I have a feeling it's going to be good because ever since Arc Systems started making the games, and they've been the shit. Double Dragon 4, hard as hell, but a great game. I'd like to see them, like, take some of the other Kunio-kun stuff, like River City Ransom and Renegade and all that shit. Which Renegade was just an adaptation of, well, I don't remember what it was called. But then you had, what was it, Crash in the Gang? Remember that one? There's a bunch of them. Kunio-kun was like, all of it ties together somehow. I don't know, it's weird. There are so many River City games. There's even River City Girls games that have been released now, like the newer ones. I have one we should play sometime.
They did an old volleyball game.
We should do a stream.
Let's do it.
But anyway, yes, 3D Double Dragon for all those gamers out there.
Oh, wait,
who are
it's
into
3.
it.
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, it's going to be 3D because they've made like the retro style ones.
Is it
now
still, but it's not, does that mean it won't be side-scrolling?
yeah, I think it's still going to be. It's going to be a 3D look.
Okay.
But did you play Double Dragon?
I didn't play the new
Gaiden?
one, man.
Rise of the Dragons.
No, I didn't
That one's
play
pretty
the
good.
one.
It's no Streets of Rage 4, but
Which that's awesome.
Nothing is.
no game is. No beat 'em up is. That's the hands down probably the greatest beat 'em up ever created. I've been playing all the beat 'em ups that have been coming out, and all of them were like, most of them I've played have been pretty good, but none of them stand up to that game. That game is just so well made all around. Anyway, this looks cool. I will definitely be playing it.
I'll probably play it with you.
Yes, do. All of us. We'll all play it. All four.
You guys want to hear about airborne hippos?
Yeah.
It's like Airbud Hippo. What?
I wish. Oh, man. I would watch that.
You can't film a movie with a hippo. It'd kill
Yeah,
everybody.
it would. I'd still watch it.
I'm Sassy Molasses.
Tear
also
everybody in
known
half.
as the air hippo.
Yeah, it'd have such a stupid name.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody thinks hippos are lovable idiots
Yeah.
when they're really just vicious killing machines.
Just a little sassy.
Yeah, it's like the one in what is that movie, Madagascar?
Yeah. She's like, I killed a man.
With my teeth.
All right, from Sky News. Hippopotamuses can become airborne for substantial periods of time, researchers discover. The mammals, which weigh up to 8,000 pounds, can often leave the ground when moving fast, which differs to other animals like rhinos and elephants. Research by the Royal Veterinary College, RVC, found that the animals can be up in the air for up to 0.3 seconds at a time when moving fast. The findings found that unlike other land animals such as elephants, horses, and rhinos, hippos exclusively trot when moving, pushing the limits of what giant land animals can do, the RVC said. As part of the research, it monitored video footage taken of two hippos moving around their paddock at Flamingo Land Resort in Yorkshire. Internet footage of hippos moving was also monitored, allowing the RVC to broaden scientific understanding of the species. We're thrilled to provide this first study purely focused on revealing how hippos walk and run, Professor John Hutchinson, lead author of the study, said. We are pleasantly surprised to see how hippos get airborne when they move quickly. It's really impressive. He said very little was previously known about how hippos move due to them typically sticking to water and the danger they pose to humans, probably while they're studying footage and not going out into the wild to observe them.
Right.
Because they don't want to be dead scientists. Kieran Holliday, Science and Conservation Officer at Flamingo Land Resort, added, I am delighted that we can help facilitate and aid in the collection of this valuable data in this exceptional publication. The fact that this paper has uncovered possible new discoveries into hippo locomotion. Man, I don't know. Hippo locomotion needs to be the name of something. I don't know what, but something.
Hippo locomotion. Yeah, that's good. It's good.
It's good for something. I don't know what.
It's good.
But keep that in your back pocket.
Like a PBS dance party, Joe.
Richard Simmons' last fucking dance exercise video.
Hippo.
Wow.
Because of the teeth.
I don't know, dude. I'm a dick today. I don't know why.
Richard's gone, man.
I miss Richard Simmons. I liked Richard Simmons.
He's gone, dude. Why'd you have to remind me? I mean, he hasn't been I don't think he was had been out in public in forever.
Not really, man. But that Pauly Shore thing came out where he was playing him in that short. You didn't see that short film they did?
No.
Oh yeah, you should YouTube that. There's a short film where Pauly Shore plays Richard Simmons. It's pretty good. Anyway, hippo locomotion could have positive impacts on the wider zoo community in regards to husbandry and enclosure designs. Weighing up to 8,000 pounds, hippos are the heaviest land animal after the elephant, according to wildlife charity WWF, not the World Wrestling Federation, but, the World Wildlife Foundation.
Yeah.
There are between 115,000 and 300,000 hippos in the wild. That is a wild discrepancy. That is almost... Which one is it? Because that's almost double the number. There are between 115,000 and 300,000 hippos. Again, if it's upwards, that is twice the low end. Where are these secret hippos? In the wild, mainly in rivers and lakes throughout sub-Saharan Africa.
That's a lot of fucking hippos.
It is if you get closer. It is if you get up to closer to 300,000. But again, the low end isn't half the number of the top end. How do you have that big of a discrepancy?
It's because they don't ever go near them.
I guess. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to be. You're right. I wouldn't want to be the hippo census taker. But all right, and then the article abruptly ends.
Yes, as always with Sky News. They just get the point across real quick and it's quit. And I think I'm going to use this one as my my last article of the day. I'm going to keep it on more positive notes. Save the other one for next time, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like I said, I know I've been a huge dick
No.
about everything today.
No. I just we've had more upbeat stuff the last several. So I'm just going to stick to this. GamesRadar.com. It's kind of I was going into this too, kind of acting like I was going to be pissed off. Yeah. A little pissed off because it says Square's PS1 fighting game was nearly based on JRPG icon Chrono Trigger until Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama showed up and said, "I'll draw some new characters." So I was like, I kind of want to be pissed at Akira Toriyama, even though he's, rest his soul.
And also did all of the art for Chrono Trigger, so how can you be mad at him just because he's like, I'll do more original things? Yeah,
but I mean, it would have been really cool to have a Chrono Trigger fighting game. It says, the game that came with your demo of Final Fantasy VII was originally much different. Square was known as an RPG powerhouse even back in the 90s, which made its dip into the world of fighting games with the PS1 title Tobal No. 1, a bit of a curiosity. Turns out, however, that Tobal was originally meant to be an action adaptation of the beloved JRPG classic Chrono Trigger. Development of Tobal No. 1 was led at Square collaborator...
Would Lavos have been the final boss? And how the hell would a fighting game Lavos...
Well, this says an action, or what this just said was an action adaptation. So it might have been planned to be something, and then they kind of turned it into a fighting game, or I don't know if it's supposed to be a Chrono Trigger fighting game, but... says development of Tobal No. 1 was led at Square collaborator Dream Factory by Virtua Fighter designer Seiichi Ishii, who wanted to work with Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama.
Oh, dude.
This was around the time that Trunks appeared in Dragon Ball Z, and I wanted to have a character like that in the game, Ishii says in a recent interview with 4Gamer. Toriyama had previously worked with Square to design the characters for Chrono Trigger, and Ishii says, at first we were going to do a fighting game using characters from Chrono Trigger. But as we were making the prototype, Toriyama came along and said, I'll draw some new characters. And so Tobal No. 1 became an original fighter with a roster of all new characters designed by Toriyama.
So it was going to be a fighting game. Chrono Trigger.
See, that kind of makes me a little mad at Toriyama.
Oh, dude, you want to hear something? I don't remember who I was talking to.
Because Tobal No. 1 wasn't that great.
You'll think this is sacrilegious, but I talked to a dude who loves Chrono Trigger, played Chrono Trigger a lot. And he said that every playthrough he does, he always kills Magus.
Who is this?
I don't remember.
One of your friends?
I don't remember who this was, but I remember this conversation. It's sticking out because this was within the last few months, and I think maybe I forgot who specifically told me that, so I didn't want to punch him. But he's like, I always kill Magus. He's a dick.
Oh no, Magus is cool, and. I mean, he's just limiting the endings. There's over 10 endings for that game.
Yeah, I know.
And but you know what? Now that I think about this, because Tobal No. 1 was not that great. You played it, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was a mode that was fun.
Maybe it's good that it wasn't a Chrono Trigger fighting game, because then I've been disappointed with it.
Some kind of action levels.
I don't know if there was or not. I don't remember that part. Tobal No. 1 ended up being the first game Square published on the PS1 and was famously bundled with a demo disc for the hotly anticipated Final Fantasy VII. Whether early purchasers bought Tobal for the fighting action or the early look at Final Fantasy VII, it reviewed well, offering 60 frames per second action at a time when that was unusual for 3D games. Dream Factory would go on to make a sequel released only in Japan and another Square-published curiosity in the early PS2 game called The Bouncer. Remember that game?
Yeah.
While Chrono Trigger has always enjoyed a much, much greater reputation than Tobal, there's a reason it still tops lists of the best JRPGs to this day. It has sadly also slipped into the ether of Square history. It got a somewhat controversial sequel in 1999's Chrono Cross, which we won't get into that because that's just all... I mean, it's not a bad game, but it's not really a good sequel. But since then, Square has been oddly reluctant to revisit the game, outside numerous ports and remasters of varying qualities. the DS version is a really badass version, and it has some extra stuff in it. Like, I think you can fight, I think the DS version, you can fight Shala, and like all the weird shit that kind of crossed over in Chrono Cross. There's an extra fight in it, I think. And
okay. I know Chrono Cross wasn't great, but it does seem like...
It was a cool game. People give it too much shit, for sure.
It seems like you could...
They
need to stop worrying about recapturing the original, because it's not...
Well, I think people were just... What people were so disappointed about is they were hoping for a sequel with the same characters. But it ended up being something totally different.
Well, it's not going to happen you're never going to get recapture the original. It's never going to be the original. But I still feel like you could make a great game.
Chrono Cross, from what I remember... I mean, I'd have to go through it again because it's been years, but it was a good game.
Yeah, but
I liked it. But it was just... During the time, too, I remember being disappointed that it wasn't another game with those characters. But it was still cool.
But think about
Interesting.
this. Like, whatever they wanted to do with it now, people are, like, so hungry for it. I don't feel like there'd be as much disappointment if it's not the fucking first one now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Plus, there'd be a whole new, like, audience for it anyway. But anyway, you guys want to keep doing stories, or you just want to talk about dumb shit now?
What do you want to talk about? Let's talk a little before... We got a few minutes.
I don't know, man. Did you guys have any, like, when you were kids, did you have any, like, fun, like, weird delusions? You know, things...
Weird delusions?
You know, like, things you thought were, things you thought that weren't actually, that ended up not being true. And I'm not talking about, you know, like, God or whatever. You know, like, everybody suffers from that one. But, you know, like, I don't know, just think anything weird lived in the forest or dumb shit like that?
Oh, yeah, because, I don't know where this originated from. It was maybe my grandfather told it, but he got it from somewhere else. And it's kind of a play on the Native American thing. You know, like Deer Woman, that whole Native American lore, folklore stuff. He talked about a deer man. And he would tell stories, and it got passed somehow. I don't know, like probably my sister told it to me. But like when he actually told the story, I found out later, he described him almost like a minotaur.
Yeah.
It was like a man's body with a deer's head, and roamed the woods and like all this weird shit. And then I like always pictured him as like a centaur.
That's
like
cool.
A deer's body and a man's torso or whatever, and maybe antlers on his head and stuff. But that freaked me out for a long time. But then I started using it because I made up all kinds of bullshit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like made up. I had like kids are living around me thinking that I'd discovered like 2 new types of bears. One that was like a flying bear and shit in the woods.
Yeah.
And one time I led an expedition with walkie-talkies where we were searching for deer man.
Well, you told me you dug up that little girl out of the graveyard and it was like a doll's head.
Oh.
Whoa!
Yeah, I came up with I created my own delusions. Apparently.
Oh, no, I
like completely created them, like fabricated them myself. I didn't like...
Happen.
It was like stories, like, whereas what you're saying, like...
No, this is kind of in line with what I'm thinking.
Okay. What's yours?
Oh, no, some of mine are just sad. Mine are just sad. Like, okay, so I had one where...
I thought you might also just think like you just think something works a certain way, something you see in the world. Like,
oh, no, yeah, there's
some
of that. Yeah, there's some of that. Like, well, I'll get to one that's not so sad first. It's like, you remember The Tick, the cartoon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when he fought the Breadmaster?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
So there was like an episode where like they're going, like these trucks are going to places and it's just like filling up with like sugar and then filling up with bread. Like, and I was like, no, that seems legit. That's probably how society works. You know? I was like 5 or 6, you know, maybe 7.
Well, that's a 5 or 6-year-old thing.
But no, some of the sad ones is like, see, did you ever see Nick Fairy Tales?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so Nickelodeon had a cartoon series that had like they'd adapt all these fairy tales or whatever.
Yeah.
And in 2 episodes, there's this fucking crazy looking witch, dude. Like blue dress, but weird like eyes and teeth and shit, and like scared the shit out of me as a kid. And I used to think for some reason that witch was real, and I thought she was trying to kill me when I would like go to sleep. And I was convinced, even though I had never seen it happen, that she wanted to murder me and my entire family, but we had made robot versions of ourselves that roamed the woods at night and ran away from the witch. But I was always afraid, like, what if she discovers they're robots and then she figures out I'm at home sleeping?
Man.
She's gonna murder me.
That's very elaborate.
Yeah, but I legitimately thought that would, like, no bullshit. I thought that was gonna happen.
That's awesome.
I don't know why. Yeah, except
Not
for
awesome for you
except
then,
for when you're creeping,
but-
except for when you're shaking in your bed at night.
Yeah, I'm not awesome for like 6-year-old Jake, but awesome now.
And then I also thought that my stepmom might be like a brood alien from like the X-Men, and
That was just too much comic book reading right there, buddy.
And then she was gonna like lay eggs in my chest, and then I'd like die. That was another thing I thought.
That's beautiful.
Oh, mine's gonna say tame.
What's yours?
Yeah, let's get off the sad ones.
I'm not really like this anymore, but I think I had like some kind of weird OCD thing back in the day. But I would have, like, if I were turning the TV down, I would have to turn it down further than what I wanted and turn it back up one, because if I left it down, I was going to hell. So the last,
That's just as bad. What are you talking about? This is tame. No,
is it?
it's just as bad. You're a kid, like
You were also
TV
insane
volume.
as a child.
the TV volume is going to send you to hell. I
Yeah,
mean, how
because
is that not on
I
the
had-
same level?
The last button I pushed had to be up, pointing towards heaven.
It's the same level.
Pushed it down.
Oh fuck, dude, that reminds me. Okay, so an obsessive compulsive one that I had. So I used to think that there were invisible, like, hypodermic needles. I didn't know the time, but like the ones they give you shots with, I didn't know what they were called as a kid. And I used to think that they had like these weird, like almost these weird tubes attached to them that were like plasticky, almost like condoms, even though I wouldn't know what a condom was at the time. And I thought that they were attaching themselves to me and sucking any sort of muscle that I might be gaining as a child and like just zapping it out of my body, and that I would have to scratch them off to get rid of them. And I thought I was... I'm looking back at it, dude. I think I had some serious mental problems as a child.
Maybe. It's okay.
But yeah, I literally thought these things were attached. I was like, fuck, I gotta
We
get
all
them
had,
off.
I'm sure, a lot of weird, like, and then and then you think about the things that you, because of ads and all different
Yeah.
types of shit on television and stuff that you really expected to see more of when you were an adult as a kid, like more syringes on any beach or place with sand you'd walk. I would expect to see way more. Like, I was always looking for people's drug needles to stab me in the foot. You know?
Just
No,
go to a cheap hotel.
Here's a fun one.
You'll
Right,
find one.
Here's a fun one. Like, you see it on
time.
the internet, but it's true, man. It's like, we all, like, a lot of stuff was in syndication from, like, the 60s all the way up through our childhood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, again, you see it on the internet a lot, but I really thought I'd run into quicksand a lot more.
Yeah. I do.
Like,
see
I
that.
thought that was going to be a big
For
problem.
real, that's like a truth, like a meme, but it's like,
Yeah.
especially kids from our generation, because it was used in everything.
Everything. Video games, movies, old TV shows.
I do remember
I was
thinking, I hope I
terrified.
don't encounter
Yeah.
quicksand. Yeah.
Of quicksand.
Have you ever actually run into it, though?
No.
Oh. Where is quicksand really?
I did kind of
Man,
run into
like
quicksand once, man. I don't know exactly. I don't know if it's specifically quicksand, but when I moved to Florida for a little bit, we were just out roaming the woods and stuff. And
It was just kind of quicksand.
no, dude, I don't know what it was, but it was like a sinkhole.
Moderate
Like
and fast sand?
it had suction,
Yeah.
and it was sucking stuff. So we're walking around, hopefully, trying to avoid wild pigs because
Yeah.
they're bad in Florida. But dude, I had just got new shoes, and we don't have a lot
Did
of
you
money.
lose your shoes?
Dude, my leg sank all the way to my fucking thigh and it was sucking. Like, it didn't get my whole body, and I had to like take my arms on like the solid ground there was and pull myself out. My shoe is in the sand. I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And I was like, man, I don't want to get my ass beat. So I was with my cousin and her friend, and I was like, okay, watch me and pull me out by my legs if you have to. And I went all the way to my shoulder, found my shoe, and I just started, dude. It was like 20 times Earth's gravity. It felt like a Dragon Ball Z feat because I was like trying to pick up this shoe that felt like it weighed 200 pounds.
Closest I've ever been to that is like deep mud, pulling my shoes off.
No, it wasn't mud because there was suction.
The
You could
closest thing
feel
I've
it.
ever been. Was it like? Too bad it wasn't like the lightning sand.
What was
in
that?
Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
But nah, man, yeah, that was crazy because, again, I thought it would be a big problem, but by the time I reached the age I was at that point, I was like, I guess I'm not going to run into quicksand until I finally did.
Yeah. I never. Not once.
Yeah.
All right. We're probably about at the limit here, so probably call it till the next episode.
Take it to them.
Sorry for making it weird, guys.
Nah, yeah, you're fine, man. It wasn't any weirder than it usually is. I enjoyed it. I think you're beating yourself up too much. But, sorry for the, to any listeners out there that this episode kind of came late in the month. We'll try to get another one out maybe
Vacation season.
before the end of July. And remember that we have on all the, wherever you listen to this podcast, besides maybe YouTube, which you can use comments there, you can text us with subjects, questions, stupid comments. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Whatever you want. Also,
Tell me
you
how
can.
offensive my accents are.
Yes. How offensive Michael's accents are, for sure, because they offend me every time. And then also, you can reach us on at thehorselickreview@gmail.com.
I'm going to take a class.
If you want to give us stories, send us stories, suggestions. Tell us how much you want us to die. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, you can reach us those ways. And thank you for joining us on the Horselick Review. Goodbye, everyone.
Airborne hippos.